Today we're going to talk about what to do at a first court appearance, the first time you go to court after being charged with a traffic citation or a misdemeanor offense. Typically that first appearance is going to happen in district court, so the first time that you go to court would be in front of a district court judge. Again, if you'd been arrested, you may have already been in front of a magistrate judge at that point, but typically the first appearance for court purposes is really the one in front of the district court judge. The district court judge will explain the max possible sentence and fine that you are facing, so that's really one of the main purposes of a first appearance, is to be told what the max possible jail time you could be looking at and what the maximum possible fine punishment could be. And then basically talk to you a little bit about different rights in relation to having an attorney involved on your case. So you'd typically be told that you have the right to represent yourself, to hire your own attorney, so to retain a private attorney, or to request a public defender be appointed on your case. If you request a public defender, you'd have to fill out a financial affidavit explaining why you basically cannot hire your own attorney, why you don't have the funds to hire your own attorney, and then basically the judge can choose to approve or deny appointing a public defender on your case. At any court appearance, including the first court appearance, there are a couple of things that you want to make sure that you do on your end to not get on the judge's nerves. The first and most important thing is show up at court on time. If you are supposed to be in court at 9 o'clock, be in court at 8:30. If you're supposed to be in court at 9:30 or at 2, be there a half hour to an hour early. Make sure that you're in the right courtroom. You can check with the clerk's office to make sure you're in the right courtroom. Every courtroom in Buncombe County will typically have a list posted of the court's docket, the court's calendar for that day. When you show up in court, you want to be dressed appropriately, so do not show up in pajamas, don't have slippers on, make sure that you dress nicely. If you have a suit, you don't necessarily need to wear a suit, but it can't hurt. That's what I've always told people, is you can't I've never heard a judge get mad at somebody for being overdressed in court. It's always the opposite. The bailiff is going to explain this in the courtroom, that you need to be dressed appropriately, and I've seen judges send people out of the courtroom for being dressed sloppy, for being dressed immodestly, for any number of piercings. I've seen judges throw people out of the courtroom for those type of things. If you have piercings, facial piercings, I would recommend removing those for your court appearance. Again, I've never seen a judge necessarily punish somebody for that, but I've never seen the lack of that be a problem. When your name is called, typically if there is an attorney representing you, then all you need to do is say the name of your attorney. So during the calendar call, you just need to say your attorney's name. If you're either representing yourself or waiting to hire an attorney, waiting to request a public defender, then the DA will give you instructions about what information they need from you. If you retain somebody, just say their name. Otherwise, the DA will give you instructions about what you need to do and what questions you need to answer for them to handle your case that day. If you go up in front of the judge and you're speaking with either the district attorney, with the bailiff, with the judge, make sure that you speak loudly so that they can hear. Some courtrooms are very open and sound does not travel particularly well, and there's also some people in the court that are hard of hearing. So just speak up in the courtroom and make sure that everybody can hear you. If there's a question answered, make sure you're not saying yeah or nah. Make sure you say yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor, yes, sir, no, ma'am. Do not get aggravated with the judge or with the DA. Do not begin shouting at anybody in the courtroom. Don't raise your voice. Don't look angry. Don't throw your hands up in the air. This is the easiest way to irritate a judge, is to get angry in the courtroom. Maybe the worst thing that can happen in the courtroom, and this is something that can happen to all of us showing up on time, being dressed right, is to have a cell phone go off in the courtroom. So as you enter the courthouse, preferably before you get in the courthouse, leave your phone in the car. If you're going to need to make a call in the courthouse to an attorney or to some family member that might be involved, make sure that once you go into the courtroom, that phone is completely turned off. I don't trust phones to just be on silent. Make sure that they're completely turned off. There's nothing more embarrassing than being called out in front of a judge for having your phone go off in court. The bailiff is typically going to keep your phone at least until the end of the day, so you're going to have to be waiting in the courthouse until 5 o'clock. Even if your case is handled by 10, you're going to be waiting around to get your phone back. Just make sure that you're not doing anything out of the ordinary to irritate a judge or a DA. If you don't know where you're supposed to be or the answer to a particular question, make sure that you tell the judge that. If the judge asks a question and you don't understand, just say, Your Honor, I don't understand. Do it in a polite and courteous way, because again, the easiest way to be pushed to the bottom of the list as far as cases to be addressed is to be rude to somebody that is the person calling the docket, the district attorney, or to a clerk. The worst thing that can happen is to be rude to those people and get on their bad side. So just be polite, and again, if there's any questions, you can always call and talk to an attorney about your case. Most attorneys for criminal matters offer free consultations, so call an attorney and talk to them about your situation.